Welcome. This is the third in a series of web puzzlers. There are links in the notes below to previous episodes. Today I'm going to talk about a security classic, XSS. Like the last puzzle, I split it into this intro video and the next, which will show an attack and discuss the underlying problem. Here's the CodePen. This is client-side JavaScript running in the browser. By the way, if you're not familiar with CodePen, you can click the fork button at the top to make yourself a copy. Then you can save it and come back to it if you need to. At the bottom, you can see a render function. This is what you're going to attack. This function injects HTML into an iframe's source doc. The iframe is defined up here in the HTML. And if you render, it will put it here in this content pane. So if I call it with a minimal string of JSON, you'll see the rendered content. You can see here that the content is generated from this HTML backtick string, and there are expressions inside the $sign curly brackets. This first $sign curly bracket actually has two $signs and a slightly more complex expression. You win if you can generate an input to this function that causes a script to execute inside the iframe. It looks like I can pass other inputs. So I can override what noun1 is by specifying it in my JSON input. And now fork shows up there. It looks like these are auto-escaped. So if I pass in simple tags, it ends up getting escaped in the HTML output. Scrolling back up to the top, we find the function HTML, which is what is called when HTML backtick is executed. If you want to understand why that happens, search the web for tagged string templates. Function HTML looks like a very simple HTML template language, and it calls escape HTML for each expression inside $curly brackets. But if there are two $signs, it doesn't escape. Next, we have a strip tags function, which seems to strip the tags from a string of HTML. And up here, escape HTML takes a string and escapes some HTML meta characters. The rest of the code looks like application code that has been around long enough to change owners. If I want to show a legacy user, I can pass an input with a legacy user ID from that table. And I get a colorful name. You've got 60 lines of legacy code that assigns HTML. Can you find an XSS in it? What string can you pass to render that will let you execute arbitrary code? There are links in the notes below to the next video which presents one solution and discusses the underlying problem in this code. Thanks for watching!